Good afternoon. This is Joe Kretzinger with a real-time report update on Razor. This is one that I do in my own IRA account since April the 1st. Today is August the 24th, so we've got about 5 months under our belt doing this with re-optimizations, recalibrations every 22 days. Here we go. Normally I'd talk about the hypothetical disclosure, but the results today that we're showing are all real results out of a real account, and so they have a separate disclosure, which we will go over in just a moment. The three terms I like to define in my presentations are, first of all, hypothetical, simulated, means the same thing. These are trades that have not been executed. They're generated by a strategy with the benefit of hindsight. Now, by nature, when you first develop a strategy or when you recalibrate it, those results are hypothetical. The next step I like to do is a blind walk forward, where for a month or a week or 3 years, like we did on the Russell, we'll do a blind walk forward without changing the inputs and see what the results are on unseen data. Now, you won't get the slippage, but you'll get a good idea how the mathematics works that way. And of course, the best results are always real results. Actual trades have been filled in an exchange. That's what we're talking about today, a 5-month record of following the Razor system on YM and recalibrating it monthly. Some of you may wonder, well, who is Joe Kretzinger? Well, I'm a full-time trading system developer. I started in futures in 1976. Now, that's over 41 years ago. I have block number 1 of TradeStation. I was the first outside of the company to use that software. Same with the System Writer software back in '88. I've written 4 books on system trading. I've consulted with world-class traders, including Larry Williams, Bruce Babcock, Jake Bernstein. I've worked for major trading institutions as well as individuals. My agenda for the last several years has been to try to level the field of automation for the little guy, the guy with 100,000 or less who wants to play golf or have a job or do something besides stare at the screen every tick like I have for 41 years. I currently sell in both open code and closed code versions 4 trading strategies. First of all are bar none. Bar none looks at 4 patterns with a day of week bias. It then confirms entry with a volatility breakout biased by a 5th pattern. This system has never been reverse engineered to my knowledge. Shapes can be used as both an overnight swing strategy and as a day trading strategy, just as bar none can. Shapes is counter trend. It works with gaps and subsequent breakouts contrary to those gaps. Razor is a time-based strategy with breakouts from quiet markets. It has stops, trails, and a time-based exit. And Ribbons is a filter added to Razor that confirms the trade is in harmony with a band of 8 moving averages. Just a couple notes for those of you who may not be familiar with TradeStation's real-time automation features. These are some ideas that I think you should add to your quiver of arrows. First of all, never run optimizations on a real-time trading computer that is automation activated. That's just a no-no. If you want to do your automations, do them when the things are not hooked up to real-time and when they are not automated, such as in the evening. Or put it on a separate machine and run offline. Turn off and unplug the computer at least once per week to clear the video memory of all terminate, stay, resident style charts. This is important. It doesn't mean just turning off the computer. It means unplugging it and letting that video memory clear and rest. It's very important you do that, otherwise your machine will slow down with all the charts that are held in video memory. I suggest you also turn off all unnecessary indicators and close unused desktops. At night or in the weekends, go ahead and open all the desktops and decide which ones you're going to trade and what you're going to do. But when real time, just like a race car, strip it down. Turn off the switcher. Turn off some of the stuff that updates on every tick. Your machine will be faster, and so will your executions. And the main thing is, do not run any programs other than TradeStation on a real-time automation computer, especially in the foreground, which means if you have the TradeStation running in automation mode, don't pull up an Excel spreadsheet on top of it and start playing around with it, because the resources of the computer are going to go to whatever's on top, and your money is more important than XYZ spreadsheet. Now here's the real-time disclaimer, and the main thing is there's a significant risk of loss in futures trading. The use of stop orders does not guarantee limited loss. No representation is being made that any account will or is likely to achieve profits or losses similar to those shown. And you can read the rest of it at your leisure. But the results we're going to look at now are with real slippage and real commission deducted, and we'll just take a look and see how they look. I've put things in a different format, showing all trades, long trades and short trades, so you can see the comparison and get a kind of feel for it. The trading period is 4 months, 19 days, 15 minutes, virtually 5 months of trading. It's made $26.87, so a little over $500 per month on a $5,000 account. If you look at the annual rate of return, that's 111.42%. Now that's pretty darn good for a small account that has no overnight exposure and always has a stop. If you look at the percent of time in the market, this thing's in the market a very, very short period of time. The average trade on the all trades is $35. If you only did the long trades, which I'm not suggesting you should do, but since the trend has been up, the long trades have had an average trade size of $88. So it's much more than just the average trade of doing everything. But 51% of the trades have been correct, and whether you won or lost, every single one of those 76 trades made a net 35.36, and again, that's 111% annualized. If you take a look over to the right, there's the inputs that we're currently using, and you can see that the time window is 8:35 to 8:38, so it's very short. It's 5 minutes after the market's open for that 3 minutes period. If it does a breakout there, fine. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And then once it's in, it only holds the trades till about 9:13. This is a 1 minute chart, and the stop loss is only $140. So it's a pretty tight conjecture trading system, and that's why I kind of like it in something like an IRA. Now, looking at the equity curve, it doesn't look that impressive, quite frankly. After trade 30, when it made a high of equity of about $3,200, it's basically just going sideways. But that's what I like. I like a system that either makes money or goes sideways, as opposed to one that loses money. If you take a look at the month-by-month breakdown, you'll see that in August, this current month, we've had our best month ever, $1,573 on 20 trades, and only half of them were profitable. July was a losing month, lost $14.10. June made $11.17. May just basically nothing, made $153, and in April it made $1,253. So the sum total is what you're looking for, and that's a little over $2,600 in basically 5 months. People are always asking me, two questions. Which of these should I trade, and why shouldn't I just trade stocks instead? I think that this shows you the answer to both those things. First of all, I think Razor is a very simple system. I think it's one that has repeated and held up over quite a little bit of time. I also think it's very easy to understand with a very small stop, a small time window, and an exit price. So you understand what's going on with Razor. So I usually suggest, pick one market that you like especially, and start with Razor on that market. The next question is, why not just trade stocks? Well, I think that's pretty self-evident. With $5,000, you can buy $10,000 worth of stocks. You put up 5 and you borrow 5, so you can have a $10,000 unit trading. If with futures with $5,000 and day trade margins, you could trade 2 or 3 contracts, and each one of them is worth $100,000 worth of stock. So the leverage, both to your good and bad, is very definitely in the futures product. If you need support, all you need to do is go to etrackrecords.com, pull down the support tab, and follow the instructions. I'll be glad to use TeamViewer and get on your machine and fix anything you've broken, install anything you'd like to have for a free trial so you can see how it works for yourself, or just go over things with you so you understand what's going on. Be glad to do it, and there's never a charge for a client. That's what I'm here to do, is support. Well, your next step is call my office at 913-334-2202. Send me the TeamViewer 9 codes, and I'll install a 14-day trial of Joe Crut's Razor or any of my 4 strategies. I'd be glad to do it. You could try it on all 6 of the markets I follow and see if it's something that's worthwhile for you. My direct email is joecrut@gmail.com, and of course our website is www.etrackrecords, that's plural.com. Well, good luck and great trading. We'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.